guys, it's Anwar and welcome to the 4th episode of the Batcave Project. Now, last episode we did a lot of progress on the Batcave, and as you can see, I forgot to film the intro, so here's a quick sneak peek. But there wasn't enough iron and it just wasn't good enough. So we are going to hop in right now and we are going to build an iron farm, and I'm going to AFK there for a few days. I'm going to go back and see what we get.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
And welcome to the iron farm. It is pretty big and I'm going to talk to you about how it works and what's going on really. So in each of these corners there are 3 villages with a zombie. Now in Minecraft, 3 villages will equal a village and that will cause iron golems to spawn. However, the use of the zombie in a boat is to kind of make them restless like this and will cause an iron golem to spawn much quicker. Now I have been using these for trading and it's been an absolutely long time trying to get them all into each corner, but now it is fully working. A few issues that I had during this time was that the iron golems would spawn on the land or in the ground. It just was not doing it. I might have been on the wrong Y level, but there we go. So to counteract that, I've made it all path blocks to make that no mob can spawn on there, and it can only spawn in this radius here. So each square of the corner will cause an iron golem to spawn and they will go into the bottom. Now when I had the issue where the iron golems would spawn on the land, I needed a way to get them into the middle. So I added this zombie here, and well, he doesn't really have a purpose anymore, but I just kind of wanted to give him something, and it can just stay there because I can't be bothered to get rid of him, but there we go. Now, as you may have seen, the iron golems do drop down into the middle and they will go into lava and then they will eventually die. So I have been AFK here for a few days now, just having Minecraft up in the background while I'm doing anything other than playing Minecraft. And this is where we're at. We have got so much iron and it's just continuing to pump out, and I'm so chuffed on how much has, how much we've got. It's insane. So it continues to keep on going, and I might need to get some more chests, but today we're going to empty out a lot of it and pretty much use every single piece. So we are going to collect all of these items. We are going to get a bunch of blast furnaces created and a bunch of anvils created, and we are going to decorate more of the Batcave. And now there's no excuses to run out because this continues to go on forever and it's great. So we're going to race on back to the Batcave, bring all of the iron with us, and let's start making some more platforms, some more buildings, and let's build that armory section. And I've popped these anvils all the way around the area. I think this is looking okay, although it is a bit of a strange sight to see. I don't know, something about anvils in one row just doesn't look right, but there we go. Now, last episode we were also talking about this massive lump of rock. It has now been completely emptied and there is just a shit ton of dirt, sand, that was divided up to make life a little bit easier, because having hardly any sponge wasn't helpful. It wasn't at all. So it made the process a lot slower, But this is what it's looking like. It's completely empty of water. I didn't realize how massive it is. So later on in the episode, we'll get rid of that. So now it is time to fill in some of these platforms. I'm probably going to line these up around the edge. We should have enough to even fill them up. And we'll also do the medical bay as well. So if I go in this little corner here and I turn around, and it will be complete. Welcome to a much more updated version of all the platforms. So as we can see, this whole section has been done, and I have gotten loads of banners to put it around the back to kind of make this seem a little bit more cozy in a way and more compact as well. So we've got all of these things going down here. It's basically very much the same all the way round. Nothing kind of new. And then of course, as we go up here all the way to the top, we have the same thing going on here all the way across. So I've made this little bridge seem more like a bridge and just raise it up by a block just to make it, just give it a little bit more height and depth to all the area. Now, as you can see, I have finally gotten rid of that massive chunk of rock. It took so long, and I don't know if the terraforming is good because there was just, it was a nightmare. So now you can see how much bigger and more open it looks now that it's gone. So if I go down here, I want to show you the platforms down here. They look so cool. I've added in the structural supports just to make it seem more realistic. And here's a back of the medical bay up here with the banners. So I wanted to make sure that they overlapped. I was thinking of adding another one just to make it go all the way down, but I think this seems to be all right as of right now. I mean, I can always change it at the end. So, like I've said, we're going to go and do the armory part up here. So I've just given like a rough layout on what I want to do. So I want to have an armor stand here, here, and here. And then probably some maybe tables, surfaces, and stuff like that. Because the thing is, because these platforms are so big, I can add more tables, I can add like some maps on the ground, like, you know, there's a lot more I can do with it. Although I will say they are pretty big, but it's fine, we can figure something out. So I was kind of thinking, much like the elevator in the very back here, I used basalt and mud, I believe. And what I will probably do is go all the way up here and make a structural kind of thing. I kind of want to play around with levers and chains and maybe some copper blocks. I'm not sure. I don't want to bring too much color into the build. I know it's just really boring, but that's just how it is. So I can do that. And as well as that, I checked the texture packs for the armor that I wanted to use. And the sad thing is, it's for Optifine only. And I'm not using Optifine, I'm using a custom mod pack for this series only. So I will be trying to use armor trimmings to try and best create those kind of things. So I'm kind of thinking maybe we do like a normal out like Batman, you know, black and yellow, Batman Beyonds, which is black and red, and then maybe we can do a grey and blue one, maybe with iron, but I don't really know how that's gonna look. But probably that might be the best idea. I think I might do it with leather actually, because then that means I get more creative freedom with that. But there we go. So what I want to do now is build all the way across here and try and make it look pretty as well. And then try and make a little design, probably with wool, because I've got loads of wool now, and show you kind of what I want to end up doing with the portal. So this will be the nether portal, which will go to the quotes on quotes, all the justice. So let's get cracking with this structure here. So this is the shell of the armory that has been complete. I've just basically used, you know, the mud and basalt. I've used some carpets and some smithing tables and some sea lanterns as well for light. And as you can see up here, I'd had some hoppers left over, so I was like, well, I might as well use some. So I just put them there. I don't know what purpose it gives, but it looks cool. Okay, we'll deal with it. But this is how it's looking. It looks really cool. It's definitely a nice change of texture and materials compared to all the metal and terracotta that's been used here. And as you can see, I was thinking of adding some windows in. I'm not really sure if I like the idea. It does, like, the white stained glass does look a bit too cloudy, so I don't know if I want to keep that or I just should have it completely open or clear. I will have to try and experiment that throughout the time. But what I'm done now, I've made some levers and some chains. I will be making some more, and I'll be making some dark oak signs as well. So much like the elevator at the back, I'm just going to kind of dot these around and just make it look a little bit more detailed. And I'm probably going to get some inspiration from the internet, see what else I can do, because it is such a big kind of building that it just, even though it's been textured a little bit, I feel like then still needs to be more added to it. So I will crack on with that and I will show you the finished results. Here we are. This is the detailing done. I think it looks okay, although I've been having to play around with it a few times because sometimes it looked too cluttered, sometimes it just looked completely bare, and I wasn't really sure what to do. And this is my first time doing something like this and really using blocks that I never thought I would be using, you know? So I'll do a quick rundown of what's been used. So as you can see, the dark oak signs are back, and I've gotten some levers up here with some chains. And then on the sides here, I've used dark oak fences with rhinestones. Who knew? To make some sort of like piping. I did have this at the front and I thought it just looked a little bit too bulky, so I've just left it for the sides. So there is one on each side, and I think it looks pretty good. Although I think if I ever feel like I might need to come back to it, of course I will. That's always how it will be. But that is pretty much that part done. And then I also had a look at different types of blocks in the, you know, block menu in a different world, and I was just playing around with what blocks to use for countertops, and I have decided to use observers. Again, who would have known? So I've got a bunch of observers here. Luckily I've got some redstone and quartz, so I've made quite a few, and I've tried to make a decent looking pattern with how much I have and make sure that there's enough space around the entire area to walk around, and I think it really suits the area quite nicely. And I've used oak signs just to kind of make a little trimming around the edge, and also just to give a little bit of a different color instead of it just being dark grays and browns. So that's that. I was going to use banners, but I realized, nah, I ain't doing all of that. You know, after that medical bait, nope, not doing it. So there we go. So I've used loads of different type of blocks here, and I am really, really happy with how this has finished. I think I might add like another countertop here for next episode, just for like, again, extra storage. Or I might use some shulker boxes, and I've seen people use beehives as like crates, which looks really good. I mean, you've got barrels anyways, so I mean, again, some more cluttered items here and there would also look really good. And I was thinking about other parts of the Batcave, and we've spoken briefly about the training grounds down there. Now, the first time I spoke about it, I really did want to talk about how I wanted like a bridge or something towards that kind of area. And I'm thinking at the moment, this area here would be the only suitable place to have a bridge that extends out over to a different platform. And I think it would be really cool for the structured legs to go all the way across. I think it might look cool. But I think that will be a next episode thing, because I mean, There's a lot of different things you can do with it. I might even change my mind and have it, you know, the floor below. Although I do not want the bridge to be too close to the Batmobile. I kind of want some nice space to get the main attraction there. So I have some yellow and light blue wool, and I'm going to start sketching out the kind of rough plan of what I want for the Halls of Justice portal. I'm going to try and make this as simple as possible, and we can do this first thing next episode. Okay, so this is what it's kind of looking like. Just to give a little bit of a reference, so the yellow wool is going to be, you know, the platform, so it'll be slabs and blast furnaces, sign and all that kind of stuff. And then the blue is what is going to be a combination of obsidian and purplish looking blocks. Again, I don't want it to be completely boring, so I'm probably going to do some sort of like sandstone kind of sign at the top. I think that'd be really cool. And then because I don't want to light the portal as of right now, what I will be doing is getting some purple stained and magenta glass and just popping it within this area here, making it kind of look quite swirly, just basically make it look like it's being lit on fire. And then on the other side, have it kind of either dark concrete or something like that. And what I like to do as well is create usually like a fake nether behind it. Usually I do that with some of my builds, so I was thinking I could do some sort of like justice, like halls of justice behind it with some sandstone, but it'll be quite miniature, so I will probably have to brainstorm that in the future, but that seems to kind of be the idea. Now I do kind of want to do some terrain, like terraforming around this area as well at some point, because this area over here kind of needs to be covered up. I don't really have an idea of what to do with it, but hopefully we can think of something later on in this series. So that's pretty much it for today. What are we going to be doing next episode? Well, I kind of want to do that first. That would definitely be one of the main things that we're going to be doing. And as well as that, I think building a bridge over to a new platform will be really cool. So I will be doing some terraforming and just building up a platform ready for the training area. And then another thing is I want to start marking out the trophies for the Batcave. So that includes the T-Rex, the coin, the Joker card, and so much more. I don't want to have it just dedicated in one place because that's kind of boring. And I just kind of want to give a little bit more fullness to the entire Batcave. So that is kind of the vision that we're looking at in the episode coming up. So if you are fine with waiting 2 weeks for that, then there you go. But there we go, guys. I'm going to call that a video for today. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.